Hey everyone, it looks like Pokemon Unite came out with an update. New patch notes have been released, as well as a new playable character coming tomorrow. We're going to look at all the details. We do happen to have some details about that, things that have not been released into the open, in the public yet. We're talking about, of course, Blissey, and we do have its moves and all that stuff. We're also going to have a look at the details of those patch notes to see who's got buffed, who's got nerfed today and this time around. Guys, looking at what Pokemon Unite released on Twitter yesterday, Blissey is coming to town. He's going to be released tomorrow, actually, as of this video being published. So it has some pretty cool moves, and we see those moves on display here in actual footage, gameplay footage, shown to us by the official Pokemon Unite Twitter. And that's some scoring. He's very egg-based, as you'd expect. But it looks like we do have some of the details for Blissey, and we're going to have a look at that right now. First up are his first section of moves, its ability, and so on. Here, its ability is Natural Cure. So basically, the natural ability, the default passive ability of a full heal in-game, which is incredible. It removes all status conditions from the Pokemon. The ability goes on cooldown after it's triggered, just like a full heal, guys, by the looks of it. But you don't control when you use it. So it's just going to happen maybe the first time you get hit by, say, Venusaur's poison thing, for example, or Gengar's poison sludge, whatever it is. And the Gengar will not be able to spam Hex on you in that situation. Of course, not many people go for Gengar anymore anyway, since the nerf, but it's going to happen. You're going to be cured of it straight away, which I think is going to be pretty nice, pretty effective. And again, it goes on cooldown, so not sure how long the cooldown is, but it's still going to be very effective that way to protect you. Completely free, full heal. Its move slots, Pound. Has the user attacked by pounding the designated direction, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area effect and increasing their movement speed for a short time when it hits. Decreasing rather. Did I say increasing? Decreasing their movement speed while it hits. That's already pretty powerful, pretty effective move right there. So that's Pound. And then the move slot 2 is Heal Pulse. So we are looking at Blissey as a huge healer, going to be replacing Eldegoss completely. So Heal Pulse here continually restores the users and designated allies HP for a short time. Both people. That's incredible. That's really, really powerful. So if you're in the thick of battle, you can hold your ground with your healing moves with yourself. You're going to be healing yourself as well as someone of your choice. So kind of like the buddy barrier system, whereas if you use a Unite move, you and somebody else would get a shield. In this case, it's going to be you and somebody else gaining healing. So having a Blissey in your team is going to be huge meta going forward tomorrow. So those moves become this right here. We have the choice between Soft Boiled or Egg Bomb. Now, Soft Boiled throws an egg to an ally Pokemon, restoring its HP as well as mine, the users. A maximum of 3 uses can be kept in reserve for one move. So if there's a Pokemon in trouble, losing its health in the thick of battle, when you're fighting over that Dreadnought, and you need health and they need health, you can throw 3 eggs at them and you're both going to get a huge amount of health back. All 3. So that's really cool. Kind of like Mr. Mime's barrier, where you're able to hold up 2 in reserve. It recharges twice or 3 times. In this case, it's going to recharge 3 times, and you'll be able to use 3 of them. Egg Bomb is an offensive one. Hurls an egg at the designated location. The egg then explodes, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area effect and throwing them. So sounds pretty cool. Sounds like Egg Bomb would be interesting. I think everyone's going to go for Soft Boiled anyway, until the next patch that nerfs it. As for the other side, guys, we have Heal Bell and Helping Hand. Heal Bell removes all status conditions from the designated ally Pokemon and makes them immune to hindrances for a short time. Extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. Kind of like your ability, but you're giving it to somebody else as well as coming with an immunity from hindrances for a short time. That's going to be, dude, this is going to be a full healing Pokemon people are going to be going for here. Soft Boiled Heal Bell is going to be the new meta. Helping Hand increases the damage of basic attacks while this move effects last. I don't know about that. It's not going to be good enough, I think. Whoever has the fastest physical attacks and the strongest with high crits, maybe they'll be able to use Helping Hand instead of Heal Bell, but Heal Bell is just way too good to just let go, and there's no way. As well as the fact that these moves, Soft Boil and Heal Bell, seem to only target allies, so you're not going to have issues aiming it into the thick of battle and hoping that it hits your ally as opposed to hitting the enemy with an alternate effect, kind of like Eldegoss's moves do. I think maybe it's Pollen Puff. You can choose to hit an ally or an enemy, and it has a different effect depending on that, but you can't really control that when everybody's all messed up in a fight. So this does not look like these moves have the same problem, so it's going to be much easier to use. And finally, its Unite move has the user dash to the designated ally, giving it an egg, granting the Pokemon a shield, and increasing its special attack and attack for a short time. The user also intercepts a portion of the damage received by the Pokemon for a short time. So, dude, there's so much going on with this Unite move. While dashing, the user throws nearby opposing Pokemon when it comes to contact. So we can see a bit of the picture of it happening. If you have a distance between the Pokemon you want to rush there to heal, you can rush right to them, and any other enemy Pokemon in your path is going to get knocked up or is going to get thrown. Okay, so that's pretty cool. As well as that, you're going to share the damage with the ally Pokemon for a short time. So it reduces the damage taken and you share it. And you increase his attack and special attack. So this is going to be an incredible Unite move in the thick of a battle for over Zapdos or for Dreadnought. It's going to be an amazing Unite move to use. It's just insane. I can't believe this Unite move is there. It's gonna get nerfed the next patch. There's so many things, so many buffs that come with it. So many gains for the team, so many advantages. So I can't wait to see this in action. And obviously every single team is going to have this Pokemon on it. It's going to be a huge carry to every team. So if you're up against a team who does not have it and you have it, you basically automatically win. It's going to be very interesting to see this in action, especially at Masters level. I highly expect everyone to have a Blissey. I'm going to buy it straight away. So I will be probably trying to play it to help carry my teams. So here we go, guys. The patch is already out as of today, and these are the updates. It looks like, of course, they were fixing some text issues, bug issues, and updating and nerfing, buffing different playable characters. So let's go through them here. Now, to add a bit of balance, they changed Crustle a bit. They reduced his cooldown on Stealth Rock and increased the damage with that move and Rock Tomb to try and encourage people to go for the other set. Now, actually, it's interesting. More people are definitely going to be playing Crustle because a lot of people still played this combination of moves. These moves were still very, very useful for blocking off the opponent and trapping them into the whirlwind of rocks. And I think that was played quite a lot in the beta. I think it was still played fairly a fair good bit in the main game. So now that it's been buffed, we're going to be seeing a lot more Crustle playing this set. Garchomp has movement speeds increased, okay? Sorry, rather, let's see, Bulldoze damage is increased, and Dragon Rush cooldown is reduced. So that's interesting. You know, Garchomp, the biggest issue with Garchomp is his ability to evolve throughout the game. If a team picks Garchomp, you're basically 4v5 for most of the game, and Garchomp's utility doesn't really come in handy until towards the end of the game, and even then it's not that good anyway. So the damage being increased on Bulldoze is going to encourage people to go for the other move rather than the Dragon set. The cooldown on Dragon Rush is going to be a little bit, tiny bit of a boon for those players who still go the whole Dragon set of their moves. But this is nowhere near good enough to encourage me to pick Garchomp myself. If I pick Garchomp, dude, I'm going to be farming NPCs for 9 out of the 10 minutes of the game, and it's not going to be useful for my team at all. This is still going to be a big hindrance to people picking this. The only problem is, because of these buffs that Garchomp is getting, more people are going to be picking Garchomp, which is going to be an issue for random solo queuing, and it's going to hurt your team if it's on your team. So we'll see what happens with all that in the end. Slowbro having Surf nerfed, which is a big issue. Now, Surf was actually pretty good, and that's what made Slowbro a much more viable defender. And it looks like the duration of the effects on the opposing Pokemon are decreased, okay? The duration. So if you hit someone with Surf, most of the time you'd be able to hit them with all 3 waves, and they'd be stunned for 3 waves. It's quite a long time to be stunned and stuck in place. It was still pretty good. That was the big part of Slowbro. That was mainly the main part of Slowbro, because this other move that would catch them, Telekinesis, is really difficult to hit. You could barely hit that thing anyway. So Slowbro was one of the least viable defenders in my opinion. As for, the Crustle, it looks like none of the other things were nerfed. So the other set on him was not nerfed. It's still very, very viable. Crustle was probably my number 2 defender. Slowbro was probably my number 3. And Snorlax, of course, being huge number 1. But as for Slowbro, it looks like Scald has damage increased to encourage people to try and take the other move. So more people might run Scald if it's any good at all. We'll see. But as I was saying, Snorlax being number 1 defender just got hit. Snorlax with the heavy slam damage dealt to opposing Pokemon decreased. So damage reduced, but Heavy Slam's effectiveness, its utility came from the stun, the AoE stun that you'd be able to stun whole big groups of the entire team just jumping in. So the damage was not the main focus there. You wanted to stun them so the rest of the team damaged them. So I think Snorlax is still going to be very, very viable as number one with the Heavy Slam here. As for block, another huge one, dude. He could block you and hit you and stun you 4 times. It was extremely long, and the duration of that now has been decreased. So block, being one of the biggest parts of Snorlax's defense here, is now reduced, and it's now less effective. So we're gonna have to see and test it and see how long you're actually still stunned for with block in effect now, because honestly it was massive. It was really, really annoying and very, very effective way that made Snorlax number one. I mean, both of these moves were extremely effective. Both of these moves have been nerfed, so Snorlax is going to be much more balanced now. As for the other moves, the Troll move, Flail, move upgrade. Okay, well, let's just see what they upgraded here for that, if it's any good still. And Unite move has also been decreased, the HP restoration has been decreased. Interesting. So I guess not the damage it deals to other Pokemon around it, which wasn't really that good anyway, but it was definitely a huge T-pose on the area of effect when you manage to get in there and just use it. I know I've stolen a Zapdos or two by just jumping in there and using this, the enemy team getting hindered and hurt, and me keeping just massive restoration of HP there. Well, we'll see if this is still viable. I think it's, honestly, Snorlax still looks very viable overall. Still looks like it's going to be a very effective as number one defender here, because honestly the block was also very useful for not just the duration but the actual ability to push the enemy into your other allies and to get them killed, which was still really, really strong, especially if you couple it with X speed, which is really trolly. So actually more people might be running X speed Snorlax instead to make up for the duration of block being reduced, so they can push them further back. That's going to compensate quite a lot, so I think that might work. Greninja, a very big favorite at the moment, especially going jungle, has had some of its moves nerfed. Smokescreen, move downgraded straight up, yeah, and the cooldown lengthened, so interesting. You're not going to be able to use it as often. The move overall is being downgraded. As you know, Smokescreen set this little ring of area effect that if you touched it, even well after it was cast, if you touched it, you would have a prolonged effect of invisibility. You would not be able to see anything around you, including the enemy team. It could be really used to deadly effect in the middle of fights where the allies, maybe you, wouldn't be able to see the enemy team moving forward and pushing, and you'd get caught in that very easily, so you wouldn't be able to flee enough. So anyway, move downgraded, we'll see how that has changed. Water Shuriken, a move that nobody seems to be picking over Surf, has had its cooldown reduced and damage increased. So that could be becoming more popular now, though it seems very similar to its own basic attacks. So I'm not sure. We'll have to have a check, see if it gets some of those crits too, if it will be effective. Double Team, cooldown reduced. Okay, so encouraging people to go for Double Team over Smokescreen. Honestly, Smokescreen is probably going to be still better, even with the downgrade. We'll have to check. Wigglytuff having its Unite move, Starlight Recital, with a bug, apparently a bug fixing it, right? There was one bug in which that you could cast the move and it would get interrupted or blocked, similar to like what you might have experienced with Snorlax's shield move when you were spamming your Unite move. The move is just gone, right? Your Unite just happens to be gone. You didn't even see any casting animation or anything. It just completely gets interrupted. That might be intended. Whereas if you use it with Wigglytuff and you got interrupted, you get 90% back. You might not anymore. Well, I don't know what the bug is. It doesn't specify, but that was an issue with Wigglytuff. And the same thing happened with Cinderace. If you did get interrupted with your Unite move, you actually got 90% of it back straight away. So you would have just been able to try and recast it again. Well, we'll see how that Unite move is affected with the bug. Cinderace, basic attack, bug fixes. I'm not sure. I never noticed any bugs with its basic attack, so that's news to me. We don't know what bug that is. The community does not seem to know what that is yet. Alolan Ninetales, Snow Warning is his ability, and the bug fixes there. So apparently one of the bugs is that the Snow Warning still triggered on enemies and NPCs that were hiding in grass. So you would be able to tell where the ambush was lying in wait. Very, very useful for Alolan Ninetales. So many times I saw the enemy hiding in grass because of the thing, and I managed to avoid certain death. And it looks like they put an end to that now, so that's a pity. I mean, it's fine. I think it's probably as intended, right? That it shouldn't be showing up on hiding opponents in grass. So there you go. It's fixed. It's not going to be that helpful anymore. Kind of a big downgrade for Alolan, actually, in this case, just by fixing a bug. Aurora Veil bug fixes, no idea what they're talking about in this case. But either way, they fixed the bug, so it's going to be working more as intended, but not a downgrade, so that's important. Gardevoir, basic attack bug fixes, psychic bug fixes. I never played Gardevoir, no idea what bugs they're talking about. I haven't seen any community talking about any bugs. A lot of the time, when they say bug fixes, nobody knows what they're talking about. Very, very few people know what the bugs are, if there are any. I don't know. Very, very tiny little changes that nobody even noticed. And again, Cramorant, again, Hurricane, bug fixes, again, no idea. Wild Pokemon, so Avalugg in the quick battles, stats decrease, so it's easier to kill. I think that was pretty bulky. It was a tough opponent to try and take down in the middle of the fight in Shivra City. Now it has its stat decrease, so it's going to be a little easier. Now, here's a big one, guys. Battle items eject button stat decreases. Okay, so they nerfed eject button. Eject button was by far the best item to take. Everybody took it, and they increased goal getters, fluffy tails, and X attacks to try and mix up the items people will be taking. Honestly, X attack would be the only other one I'd be looking at here. I wouldn't bother with goal getter. Instead, I'd probably just go for the goal scoring shield. That's the other item you can get. Battle item, eject button, stat decrease, so probably the distance or the time. We'll see. Either way, it's still probably going to be one of the most useful items. People are going to get used to it, and maybe we're going to see a lot more X attack, because X attack was definitely underpowered, but X attack increases both special and physical attack for a certain period of time, and its recharge is still pretty good. So that might become more common, and hopefully it is worth it now. Guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Good luck on getting Blissey tomorrow if you guys are going to get it. I am, absolutely. Can't wait to see it in battle and all that stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed this one on the updates, as well as the buffs and nerfs. Hopefully they don't affect you too much in a bad way, and just keep playing that Pokemon Unite, dude. I'm looking forward to all these balances that are happening and are coming in the future. This game is on its road to becoming a full, proper esports game. Can't wait to get a part of that. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop that sub. I'll see you guys around in the streams. Till then, guys, bye.